oh, let me just throw some oil on it. Let me just put a little hair butter on it and it'll be all good. It'll fix my credit. It'll make my man act right. And it'll work miracles. And it doesn't work like that. It don't work like that. Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how you can easily, because we're all about ease over here on this channel, transition your hair routine into the colder months, because fall is definitely upon us. Kind of. In Georgia, it was literally 77 degrees today. So, you know, we get the cold in spurts, but depending on where you are in the world, you might be experiencing some very cold weather. And with the change in season, there should be a slight change in your hair routine so that you can protect your hair and also just honor all the growth that you've had throughout the year, making sure that you're protecting her during this hibernation season. That's what I kind of feel like the colder months are, so that when you are ready to pop out in spring and summer, your curls are ready too. Okay, so the very first tip is just to make sure that you're taking extra care moisturizing your hair. With the fall, obviously comes lower humidity, a drop in temperature, and your hair becomes a lot more susceptible to being dry, brittle, ashy, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So if you're someone who uses just one layer of product, make sure that you just up that up to 2. I like to use 2 to 3 layers of product, honestly, all year round. That's just my preferred method of caring for my hair. And I will definitely be using 3 layers of moisture during the fall and winter months. So the way that that looks is I'll do a light leave-in, a hair milk, and then usually like a thicker cream that gives me moisture as well as definition. Kind of like today, actually. So I use the Curl Origin Hydrating Curl Leave-In with the Curl Origin Maracuja Rich Moisture Hair Milk. And then on top of that, I put the Melanin Twist Elongating Style Cream. And girl, first of all, lightweight, fluffy, moisture. Like when I touch my hands, I feel the moisture in my hair, but I still have definition. And with the summertime, I know a lot of us are using mousses and gels and just all types of things to get that definition. You don't have to use a styler to get definition. You can use moisturizing products that also give you styling like properties, styling features. If you guys want to see like a fall essentials video, basically where I walk through like certain products that are essential to anyone's regimen, let me know, like during the colder months, especially with Black Friday around the corner, let me know. So my next tip is going to feel a little bit against the Black woman's grain, but bear with me. Don't go crazy with hair oil or hair butter. During the colder months, you may experience dry, itchy scalp, dry ends, and just dry hair in general. And it can be very easy to feel like, oh, let me just throw some oil on it. Let me just put a little hair butter on it and it'll be all good. It'll fix my credit. It'll make my man act right. And it'll work miracles. And it doesn't work like that. It don't work like that. But just throwing oil in your hair or even hair butter when your hair is already dry is going to make your hair even more brittle. It's going to seal your hair away from any moisture that you try to apply after that until you clarify. And I don't want us to forget about clarifying during the colder months, because it can be very easy to feel like, oh, it's cold outside, I should be co-washing more, I should be shampooing less. And really, you should be shampooing at a rate that cleanses off any product buildup as you get it, no matter what the season is. You may just need to use thicker moisturizing deep conditioners, or like I said, stack up on your moisturizers when you style. But foregoing shampooing just because it's cold outside, that's a no. That's a no-go. My third tip to remember as we roll into these colder months is trim, trim, trim. On a schedule, on the dot, every single time, no matter what. During the colder months, as we kind of put our hair away and either do braids or sew in extensions or even just do low manipulation styles, it can be easy to feel like our hair doesn't need a trim, or just kind of like hide our awareness to what's actually going on with our hair. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I view the colder months as hibernation season. Really, that's true. Like, not just with my hair care. During the colder months, I get this burst of energy to like transform my life. I think it's Scorpio season. But in the November, October range, girl, I'm on go with my own personal development. And when I do that, I like to go inward, reflect on the year, reflect on myself as a person, evaluate how I'm coming along in my hair goals, my personal goals, things like that. And that's what I mean by hibernation season. I also tend to lean more towards low manipulation styles in the colder months versus the warmer months, because of course we're out having fun in the sun, turning up, being outside, you know, all of that. But you know, when it gets colder, you kind of want to come on in, bring it on home. If you're someone who likes to hibernate their hair during the colder months, make sure that you're not turning a blind eye to your ends in between hairstyles. Making sure that you're trimming your hair on a schedule is just going to save you from heartbreak in the spring and summer. When you finally start wearing your hair out and you notice that your ends are see-through, you have holes in your hair is tangling way more than it usually is because you weren't honoring the growth that you were receiving when your hair was hibernating. It can really help your length retention, and if you're concerned about like maintaining your growth or even growing your hair during this time, to be aware of your ends when you're outside. So if you're going to be outside for an extended period of time in the cold and in the wind, try to protect your ends in some way. Usually what I'll do is I'll put a bonnet on and then put like a beanie on top. Like if I'm going to be outside, I don't really go out in the cold. I mean, just from like my house to my car to wherever I'm going. But if I have to be outside, I'm gonna do something that protects my hair from the cold. I'm not just gonna sit out there and let my hair get dehydrated and beat up on by the wind. Some other things that you can do are just like tucking your hair into your shirt before you put your jacket on. Like if you're constantly taking it on and off during the day, or you don't want to like bring a bonnet to work or something, or even like having a scarf for like the neck part of your hair when you put your actual scarf on, so your hair just isn't rubbing up against the wool fibers or the cotton fibers that are going to suck the moisture out of it, when we already discussed how keeping moisture in your hair can be a little bit more challenging when it's colder outside. So just being aware as you're putting stuff on your head and putting things closer to your neck, just being aware of your hair and knowing that your hair is a fabric. So the more distress you put it in, the more it's going to wear and tear on your hair. Your hair isn't invincible, and you want to protect her and like love on her and nurture her during the colder months. If you're someone who, no matter what you do, you implement all of these tips and you still experience dry, brittle hair, highly recommend steaming the hair. Now, this is not recommended for everyone. In fact, I have never consistently steamed like during the colder season. It's not necessary personally for me, but if you live somewhere where it's really cold, like I said, in Georgia, literally today the high was 77. But like last week the high was like 52, so it kind of fluctuates. If you're someone where it's very, very cold, steaming about 1 to 2 times a week. Don't overdo it because you can actually hurt your hair if you steam too often. Sorry, not 1 to 2 times a week. Oh my gosh. 1 to 2 times a month. Do not steam 1 to 2 times a week. Don't do that. But if you start with just once a month, you should see a difference in the hydration in your hair, which is key to having healthy, happy hair, as well as steaming will actually reach your scalp because you use a steamer without a shower cap. You just put your hair directly in the bowl and let warm mist essentially like hover over your hair, and then your hair drinks those water particles. And then your hair drinks those water particles up and it hydrates your hair. So it also does the same thing for your scalp. So if you have dry, itchy scalp, or your hair is just really affected by the cold, I highly recommend trying it starting once a month, and if you need to, bumping it up to twice a month, but no more than that. My last tip is more of an all wellness tip. It definitely applies to your hair, but it applies to all aspects of your life during this time. During the colder months, we have less sunlight and shorter days, and that's actually been shown to cause a chemical reaction in our brain that can make us more susceptible to just having feelings of not feeling good, like feeling despair, feeling low self-worth, feeling sad, which is the acronym for seasonal affective disorder. And essentially, you really want to be on your self-care game during this time. Now, honestly, we're almost all gonna feel the effects of not having enough sunlight during this time, but knowing that that is a possibility of happening, you can kind of mitigate the negative aspects of seasonal affective disorder by staying on top of checking in with yourself. Also scheduling out your self-care, and even when you don't feel like doing it, just doing a little something. Maybe don't do the full bubble bath, but drink your favorite smoothie and, you know, sit by a candle, you know, like just doing things that are going to consistently lift your mood. And when you do that, it allows you to have the energy and the want and the desire to continue to care for your hair. So this is a time for me where, because I'm someone where if I'm not feeling good, my hair care routine is the very first thing to go. I really want to take care of myself during this time and not neglect myself in that way. So the way that I'm doing that is by sticking to a regimen of how long I'm going between wash days. And no matter what, either on that day or a few days before or a few days after, my hair is getting washed. I don't care what's happening. Like, I have to make that time for me, and setting that boundary first for myself, because really it's me. Like, it's not like anybody's trying to keep me from washing my hair, but setting that boundary, it's good. It feels good. It's how you kind of build habits, and then having that habit can carry you through periods of times where you may be more susceptible to negative habits that would actually be detrimental to what you want for your life. And just setting an intention to be aware of how your mood is fluctuating throughout these next few seasons will really be helpful with at least allowing you to know why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. And when you know why, sometimes you can come out of it and do what you need to do anyway. Sometimes you can't, and that's okay too. Honestly, like, it's life. You learn, you grow. It's life, girl. Life be lifing. But yeah, I wanted to throw that in there because everything that's happening around us does also affect our hair care routines. And if you do have like a length retention goal or a healthy hair goal, it's helpful to know the challenges that might pop up so that you can plan ahead to maneuver around them instead of just chugging ahead without intention. And when you do meet that obstacle and that wall, you're more easily knocked down, or it's just harder for you to get up because you weren't anticipating being knocked down to begin with. That wraps up all of my tips for us to remember as we move into the colder months on how to stay on our game with our hair, but also kind of get ahead of problems before they even begin to start. If you have any questions at all, make sure that you leave them down below in the comments. I would be happy to answer as many as I can. I love answering you guys' comments. I actually need to go and answer some comments from the last video today, so I'm gonna be doing that. And go ahead and give this video a like if you liked it, if it was helpful. Subscribe if you're interested in content like this, and share it with a friend. Share it with your mom, your friend, your cousin, your man, because you know the men's, they're growing their hair now. They need to know the rules. So share it with someone in your life if you think it would be helpful for them as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.